This is David Hood and Nikki Hood from TigerNet. We're here, beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona at the Media Hotel. We just finished up the last press conference before tomorrow night's College Football Playoff National Championship with head coach Dabo Swinney and Nick Saban. Everybody wants to know what's the mood of the team, what's the mood of the coaches. Well, we just ran into Coach Swinney. He was taking some pictures with Coach Saban and Hannah Storm, some publicity shots before tomorrow night. He was all smiles. He's loose. Does that mean the team's going to win? We don't know, but it's a good sign that the team was loose yesterday during the media day. The coach is loose today. I think everybody's having fun. In fact, Nikki and I both kind of stopped him and we said, thank you. We're staying in a fantastic hotel. We've been to Miami. We've been to an ACC championship game. He thought that was pretty funny. But now Nikki will go to the press conference today. A couple of things kind of stand out to me. Dabo called Dwayne Allen absolutely awful when he first got on campus. What were your thoughts when he was talking about that? And kind of explain what he said.
I thought it was interesting that there wasn't a whole lot of talk about the game today. It was more about the two coaches' programs, how they like to run their programs. And going back to Dwayne Allen, one of the things he said is it's most enjoyable for him when his players succeed in life. He said he doesn't care what they do when they're 18 to 21-year-olds, but when they're 35, he likes for them to come back and just see what type of men they grew and what type of impact he and all of his coaches had on his program. And he said, Dwayne Allen was the worst freshman I've ever been around. He said, I told him when I became head coach, we can't coexist. You just need to leave. Compliance has your papers ready to go. They're signed off on. Go do what you need to do. And he said, and now I look back at it, Dwayne Allen is now up for the NFL Man of the Year. I like knowing that I had that kind of impact on a young man's life.
The other part of it was the guys who were going to leave early for the NFL draft. We know that there's maybe 7, maybe 8, maybe even 9 juniors, including a sophomore, Mackenzie Alexander, who's eligible to go for the draft, that might leave. Coach Swinney said, I know who they are. I pretty much know what everybody's going to do. And the question was actually for Coach Swinney, but Coach Saban intervened, and he said, Dabo, I'm going to take over now. And he asked for the NFL to bring up reform, saying, they've pushed the NFL draft back, that's great, but I want it to where they don't get their draft grades until competition is over, meaning, as he put it, if your season ends on December the 6th, you'll get your draft grade after that. If your season ends on January the 11th in the national championship game, you'll get your draft grade after that. I think that would be great because now these players, their families, they're all trying to deal with agents calling them, with decisions that they have to make, with reporters asking them. Thought that was a big piece of the press conference. Now, Nikki, let's go orange. People say, are there the same amount of Alabama fans as Clemson fans? This is an orange desert right now.
Absolutely. We flew in on Thursday. There were a ton of Clemson fans on our flight coming out here. Everywhere we've been, we've seen Clemson flags. Yesterday, we took about 6 hours and drove up to Sedona and Flagstaff. We passed Clemson flags on the interstates. We saw Clemson flags at the scenic view stop-offs. We saw Clemson flags in the rest areas. Clemson fans are everywhere.
It was really funny. We stopped up in Sedona. There was this little viewing spot. A couple pulls up. They've got Clemson flags on their rental car. Where are you from? Turns out they live about 5 minutes from my house in Powdersville, but we have to go all the way to Sedona, Arizona to meet. Are there more Clemson fans than Alabama fans here? Just from what we've seen, it looks like there are. Maybe playing for national championships is getting old hat for Alabama. We're going to finish this up. Let's talk a little X's and O's. What is the key for Clemson beating Alabama tomorrow night?
If you listen to all the national pundits, it's Deshaun Watson. I think Watson holds all the keys to this game. Can he keep the running game going? He's rushed for over 100 yards, I think, in 5 or 6 straight games. He's going to be the key for me if Clemson's to win this game.
I think it's interesting that Vegas has already given their take on the game. They said the over-under on rushing yards for Deshaun Watson, 56, far under the average he's had over the last 3 or 4 games. They also put the number of pass attempts for him at 36, which means I think that they expect Alabama to jump on top and Clemson to have to throw the football. But what I'm getting here, I think Clemson's got a great shot against the Tide. They do what the Tide has had trouble stopping. It's going to be a physical football game. It's going to be a grinded-out football game. It's going to be close, but most of all, I think it's going to be fun. Signing off from Arizona, David Hood, Nikki Hood from TigerNet.